Okay, middle bedroom, upper bedroom, bathroom. I've been able to hook up lake water to a pump to run, so everything should work. Again, we'll get on the water here shortly, but fresh water actually runs. So the fresh water is hooked to the cold, and the lake water is hooked to the hot water heater. Not sure why that was done from factory, but that's how it is. So fresh cold water is in the shower. So just beware of that so you don't use it too much to get rid of the fresh water. Toilet is actually more like a regular flushing toilet. Has little instructions here. I've only been able to push on it once to when we were testing out the water, but it actually flushes like a real toilet. Like water will come in, it'll suck it down. It seems to be pretty cool, but we'll have to see when we get on the lake. Bathroom. Supplies for the bathroom in there. We got a bunch of toilet chemical and cleaning supplies in there. There's this rack to kind of put your toiletries. There's not a great place for storage of toiletries in here, so we put this in there to store your toiletries. And I would suggest doing the same thing is bring a gallon of your own toilet chemical down and just pour a gallon down when you get here, and I'm sure you'll be fine. All doors are the sliding doors with the lock on them. Oh. So that does that little turn lock. Pocket doors. Okay, and then again, you'll see that the light switches are all, here's where the control is for the furnace and AC. I believe Cody's coming down to change this one out to a different one. Fridge, normal scenario. It runs off of the inverter. I have it turned off right now just because there's no use using it, but the fridge, freezer, same type of thing, has an ice maker there, so you got to make sure that the flap is up for ice to be made. And then you've got pots and pans and stuff in here. The pans, dishes, or just kind of give you an idea of what's in there. I'm sure we've forgotten stuff, so we'll have to just kind of, as we realize that we don't have something, bring it down. We do have some plates, bowls, some bigger things, but we left a lot of this empty for your own storage of stuff. I have a few things up here, lighters and that kind of thing, and some glasses here, but not a lot. Bring your own paper products, your own paper towels, just same thing as the Black Pearl, just kind of do things the same. We are going to leave a dish rack there for when you wash the dishes. And here's one thing that you'll never figure out, so take note of this. On the Black Pearl, when you hook the fresh water up to the side of the boat, you need to pull that handle down that's below the circuit board to let it inflow to the boat. Well, in talking to the previous owner, this right here is where that valve is. So when you hook up, so this is under the kitchen sink, when you hook up the fresh water to the side of the boat from the dock, you have to come in here and turn that, and you can hear it pumping in, so it'll pump it in. Again, weird spot for it. Not sure why it's there, but I never would have figured that out without his help. Trash compactor running off of generator or shore power. This, however, is an ice maker that runs off of the inverter. So again, when you're here, it's got to be turned to on. Right now it's off. Has to be turned to on. And then of course put that up and it'll start making ice. So you got two ice makers running. Stove, it's all electric, so the generator or shore power has to be on in order to use the stove. And the microwave, of course, can be plugged in. Only two plugs in the kitchen are inverter plugs. This one, and then there's one over there. And the one, unfortunately, by the oven is not. So there's two plugs that work in the kitchen all the time. And there, over here at this hutch, there is another inverter one. And then you've got your light switches there that are labeled. More storage for your stuff. Also down here, there is a griddle, because that's the only place that would fit. And then dishes, tablecloth, or excuse me, silverware, tablecloth. Again, there's not a ton of silverware. Here's the kind of just some of your bags and stuff like that. Not a ton of silverware. Always bring your paper plates and paper products. You can put, you know, forks, spoons, knives in there. Paper plates in here, just kind of some stuff to put that stuff in. Lower bedroom, same as the other. Got the big lights that turn on and just kind of some drawers and stuff for you there. Okay, table, self-explanatory. Garbage can, stools underneath. You've got your chair there. One thing about this chair is it's got this grate right below it that if that was right there and somebody really sat on that, that would bend that. So I know it's going to be impossible, but maybe try to keep that chair just kind of off of that deal. So here is kind of an entertainment center hutch. The log book is right there, same log as the Black Pearl. Here's the stereo. Right now I actually have it hooked to shore, or not shore power, but just an outlet that's here at offshore marina. But this plug will be plugged in back there on inverter. So this entertainment center will run all the time on the inverter. This stereo, and it runs off of, so I've brought it to this power pack. Now the reason I have this in here is because this has a built-in backup battery in it that if power is cut between shore power or generator power, when you hit it to the off and it goes to an inverter, there's a slight break in power. If this box is turned on, you can see there's a power switch that should always be on to run these 3 switches. Then you'll never have a break in power, so you won't lose TV, you won't lose satellite signal. Like, there's just a smooth transition. If you didn't use that, every time you turned the generator to off position, you'd have to reconnect the satellite every time. So just know that runs off of that, and you have to have that power switch on for those to run. Your stereo, power's on. It'll accept USB port, CD, or radio, which you're not going to get. But the best thing I found is when you hook it up, if you go to source and go to Bluetooth, it'll connect to any device, and that's the best way to run your stereo. So hook it to Bluetooth, volume knob, and then here is your source of, there's tons of speakers in this boat. So here's your sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, listed all up here. So wherever you want the speakers to play or not play, you can push those. Right now it's on 5 and 6, which is the master, or the salon here, which is the dining room, living room, kitchen area. Satellite will be constantly hooked up with this. This is the satellite system. It's on a power source, so it's finding a signal at all times. Once it locks on and you're stable, it'll stay on there. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work when we're moving. That's just one thing that we're going to have to figure out. But you've got your 2 remotes here, your TV remote, and then it's off of Dish Network. So it'll be the same thing. So you'll come and you can turn it on just like you do your Dish Network. And I haven't turned it on today, but I bet, what are we going to have? Yeah. So you've got an episode of Catfish to watch, just what everybody wants to do. So the only time you're going to need to kind of know what to do on the satellite is if it's lost signal, the first thing I would do is just unplug it from here. I've labeled it satellite. Just unplug it for 10 seconds, plug it back in, and see if it finds it. It runs through a little program to find it. If it doesn't find it that way, then we got to kind of find it a different way. So I put instructions right here. So if you can't find a signal, unplug the satellite from the power strip, which is down there. Turn off and then on again this wind guard switch. We're always going to leave it on, but if you turn it off, it stops the satellite from searching. If you turn it on, it resets it to start searching again. But here's the bad part, is then you got to wait like 10 minutes for it to lock onto a satellite and then really find it. So wait like 10 minutes, plug the satellite back into the power strip, and then it'll run through its finding stage. So I'd unplug it first and plug it back in and see if it can find it. That would be like if it really just can't find it. Your couch pulls out into a hide-a-bed under here with a memory foam mattress, and then these ottomans have storage in them with nothing in them. The basement master is what I'll call it, and then the front master both have brand new memory foam mattresses. The other two bedroom have just kind of the standard houseboat mattresses. The back area has these two storage compartments. We're going to keep our tools and kind of extra parts and stuff in there. The poo pump deal to take the poo pump cap off, the poo pump bracket, some gloves, tools for props, some little extra ropes, and then kind of some extra parts that were here and I just don't know what to do with them, so we'll just hang on to them for now. And then on this side is where we just have an open storage to hang things or put some stuff in. So one of the jet ski cranks is going to stay in there permanently because of the HVAC unit. The other one, just so it's not sitting out in the middle of everything, I'm going to store in here. And then here's the jet ski ramps. We only have one right now because Randy's making the other three, so the first few weeks probably won't have the jet ski ramps, but we'll have them. There's a cool little scrub brush here if we need it. The auxiliary tank is right here. It's got the gas can, or the gas handle in it with a locking, well, that was on, locking deal. You just have to do this. It'll turn on and that'll create pressure to pump gas in there, and then you can just do it just like you do at a gas tank at a gas station. It pumps quite well. In a minute, this is where, these are the two holes